At the end of this video, I'm going to share a little story about the fish that's used in the bonus in this game. You might have noticed that the fish used in the picking bonus was a puffer fish, and that is served raw in Japan, and they call it FUGU. You might also know that FUGU can be poisonous. It's got a nerve agent in there, and you have to be licensed in order for anyone to serve it in a restaurant. Now, one time, I've had FUGU a couple of times, but this one time I was in Japan with another guy. He was a Midwestern white guy, and I'm Japanese descent myself. So we were there with two Japanese hosts, and they sat us down in a little small restaurant. And the first thing that happened was that they went up to a small pool where there were some live fish swimming around in the pool, and they pointed at one of the fish. And we weren't quite sure what that was about, but it turns out that fish was served to us shortly thereafter. And it was served in a fashion called Odori Sashimi, which means kind of a dancing fish. And the reason it's called that is the chef very carefully fillets the fish while keeping the fish alive. Slices up the fish into little pieces, but the backbone and everything is still there, and so the fish is still alive and moving. So when the waitress brought that fish to us in our small room, she noticed that there were 3 Japanese dudes and 1 white guy, and so she very carefully pointed the mouth of that fish at the white guy. Now, the next thing that she did is she put a small, as is the tradition, a small drop or 2 of sake into the fish's mouth, and the fish kind of moves its lips. That almost made the white guy throw up. Now, the next thing that happened is they served us fugu. Now, it had been explained to us that fugu, which is potentially poisonous, you have to do 2 things if you're licensed. One is to cut it very, very thin, because otherwise it's got the possibility of there being some of the poisonous nerve agent in the meat of the fish. So they cut it very thin and make sure it's washed and very carefully prepared. Well, the first thing that happened was the waitress brought the fugu to us, and it was cut very thick. Not only that, but we were also told that you cannot eat the liver of the fugu. That's where the poison tends to concentrate. So they outlaw the serving of liver or fugu liver. And so guess what? On the top of this bowl of thick-cut fugu was a dollop of liver. Now, we're not quite sure if the liver was fugu liver, because we were also told that sometimes they'll serve another fish type of liver and just sort of kind of pretend that it's fugu liver. But we were also told that they knew places where they actually did serve the liver of fugu. So we started eating it kind of carefully, but noticed that while we were chomping down on the first piece of fugu, our 2 Japanese hosts were not. They were just instead meditating very, very carefully and silently all the time, looking at the bowl of fugu before they took their first bite. Well, finally they took their first bite. Now, about 3 or 4 pieces of fugu in for myself and for the other guy, the white guy. The white guy said, "You know, I can't feel my lips." Well, it turns out that, that is kind of a bad sign. And in fact, my lips were kind of tingling around the edges. So I decided to stop, and so did he. And the 2 Japanese hosts kind of finished most of the fugu, but they didn't die. They survived, and they said that was very good, and it was the best fugu that they ever had. So, well, there you go. If you're ever in Japan and you have fugu, you might want to make sure that it is cut extremely thinly before you dive in, and don't eat the fugu liver. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so you won't miss a video, and visit our website to learn more about slots and casinos. If you like this video, please give it a like, and we'll also answer your questions and comments.